This is a delightful little ditty called Autopsy. You made the opening incision with almost clinical precision. Took the heart out, found it wanting. Took the top off the head, removed the mind. What exactly was it you expected to find? I looked at you with sad eyes that said, it wouldn't have hurt half as much if you'd only waited till I was dead. Crazy loneliness hijacks memory of a beautiful girl. Crazy loneliness hijacks memory of a beautiful girl. Last night I missed you so much that I made love to your nightdress passionately. Now your nightdress hides from me, slinks under covers and pillows, avoids my eyes. I can't take another night without you. Your nightie can't take another night with me. I am holding your dresses hostage, threatening them with kisses, caresses, if they make one false move. Your other clothes tremble in the wardrobe. Come back to me. Clothes have no memory. Your most prized dress must confess that it cannot remember the swell of your breast, the rise and fall of your breathing. Clothes have no memory. It is winter now and your summer frock has totally forgot the sheer sunny shockiness of being underneath it all, totally Nicholas. Kisses like butterflies alighting high, and your inner thigh. Don't even go there, Alan. Clothes have no memory. Your bra, unhooked, unhinged, cannot really recall the thrill of it all as my hands with each caress create your breasts. Clothes have no memory. Clothes have no memory, but I do. Thank you. Apple of my eye. Oh, sorry, my halo. My halo slipped. Although I loved you more and more, you were rotten to the core. I don't love you anymore. Unfortunately, I've wrote my set list on my lifeline, and it's running out. This is a poem called Preserve. Tongue stained with blackberries, we collect kisses, falling into ditches, being stung by nettles. Your dress snags on a briar, you cry out in mock horror. I cut my way through the tangle of thorns as if I were your prince. Charming me, you undo your buttons as you step out of your dress, as if you were stepping out of yourself. Your dress hangs like a chrysalis. You let down your golden hair and we make love then and there. A tractor and some cows go by. We laugh and try to hide. The sun beats down on my bum. We giggle and come, return to the big old dirty town and turn our blackberry picking days into luscious winter jam. Thank you. It's called When They Made You, They Broke the Mould. I sit and gaze, amazed, as you create a rubber mould of your vulva. You ask me what I think. I blink and grin. It's something else, but what's it for? It's for you, because I love all the things that you do to it. I smile, well, all right. For years your masterpiece held pride of place upon our mantelpiece, created heated debate over how much was too much, or how far was too far, or as Fran said, it oughtn't to be allowed. People, Fran would never say that. People were often affronted, but you, being you, as was your wont, proudly put on the front, claiming I am not ashamed of my cunt. Years later, we broke up and it ended up in an attic, neatly packaged and covered with dried wild flowers. I wrote and asked if you wanted your vulva back. You wrote back and said, "Oh yes, please," in big, bold, capital letters. And so, like a Rosetta Stone, it was returned to its original owner with a little note attached that simply said, "Thank you for the gift of this and for loaning it to me for all these years. It was greatly loved and greatly missed, and sealed with love and a single kiss." Thank you. I was babysitting. Little girl was put up to bed, and I was going to watch a documentary on the life of a mafia killer. And they had him in jail, and they were just asking him questions, and he was just telling them what he did and stuff like that. And it was pretty horrible stuff. They asked him, how did he kill people? And he said, "I don't do nothing to them." And they said, "Well, how do you kill them then?" He says, "I bind them, I leave them in a cave up at the top of the Hollywood Hills, and the rats and rodents come and eat them alive. And I video it, and then I come back and watch the video." And I was thinking, oh. And then he said, "My 3-year-old girl, I had to shoot a guy, and he said, 'Don't shoot me in front of my child.' And he said, 'Okay,' and he shot the kid instead. And then the man said, 'Kill me, kill me.' And he said, 'Oh no, that's your punishment.' And then he'd go home to his own little girl and say, 'Who's my precious princess?' and pick her up. And I was thinking, could you do something like that? And then just at that moment, Tilly came down with her doll and said, 'I want a drink of water.' Dolly's thirsty. Dolly's not sleeping. So I had to turn off that, and I had to tell her the nursery rhymes and fairy tales and stuff like that. And so there was this cross-pollination of the mafia killer and the fairy stories and the nursery rhymes. And it created this curious hybrid that I call nursery rhymes. So this is Up Above the World So High. The 3 blind mice, the 3 blind mice. They didn't tell you the same thing twice. And they wasn't very nice. And they wasn't blind. That was just a blind, see? They wore shades to hide their eyes, maestros, with a switchblade knife. They ran all the vice, and any opposition had already lost their lives. But fuck it, lately the farmer's wife, it was rumoured she'd done the old man in, and had now begun to muscle in on their territory. And they didn't like it. They weren't used to being told what they could and couldn't do. Confrontation and respect was due. Both boobs bore a tattoo that proclaimed in Latin trouble and strife. Fuck you. Her other tattoo just above her pubic hair stated in mock Gothic script, "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here." One night, the farmer's wife decided to separate the men from the mice. Had them scrubbed out by a psycho known locally only as Slasher Gore. Now the 3 blind mice don't see so good no more. See, being dead ain't good for the sight. Is that right? Is that fucking right? Deal with them, boys. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, meet the new big mama of vice, the farmer's wife. Just like it spells out in nasty neon light. Twinkling, twinkling, obscuring the starlight. Thank you. This is called Snowfalls. She wakes to a morning with no reason for living, cries in the mirror to be forgiven, puts on her makeup, takes off her clothes, sits there and bleeds until she can't feel the blood in her veins goes cold. The cat cries to be fed, the batteries in her Walkman go dead, the Rachmaninoff stops. A letter she will never read drops on the welcome mat. Somewhere a mobile rings and stops. A member of a minor political party looking for her vote rings her doorbell twice, slips on the ice and ruins his coat. Curses. A man laughs at another man's joke. It's a big laugh, he's a big bloke. Laughter invades the square. There's a chill in the air. Her best friend calls for her to go on a blind date. She does not hear. Snow, snow, snow falls. Thank you. In the year of our Lord, 2008, I met this fine young lady here, and I was determined to go back to Ireland, and she stopped me in my tracks. I didn't go back, and I met her at a poetry reading in Stratford-upon-Avon, and the organiser said that she was going to get all the guys to come in a kilt. And I took it seriously. I arrived in the full regalia and nobody else. There wasn't even a lady in a kilt. Now, as Andy can tell, and also, you know, I didn't expect to fall in love. I didn't expect to be kissed. I didn't expect to be kissed like that. And as Andy will tell you, no, there's no need to demonstrate, Andy. Just, I'm using you as a prop, all right? Yes, so as Andy can tell you, will you stop trying to... That if you have a penis in blue jeans, no need to demonstrate, Andy. It'll either vote left or right. But in a kilt, the only way is up, baby. So, do not attempt this at home, children, not even in the privacy of your own rooms. It was my worst fashion mistake. I determined never to make it again. Oh, hold on, can I see it? Oh, I can see it now. It's called Achai, but no. It's so hard to hide an erection in a kilt. It's so bleeding obvious as to just what it is. It's here because it's here because it's here. It's so hard to hide an erection in a kilt whilst attempting to be an upstanding member of society. And then there's that embarrassing interlude waiting for it to wilt. But that's neither here nor there. It's so hard to hide an erection in a kilt. Here, oh that. It's so hard to hide an erection in a kilt. You think, is there no end to it? One doesn't have to advertise or neon sign it, and it's impossible to doubt, deny or disguise it. It's here because it's there and it ain't going nowhere. It's better to come clean, face up and be a man about it. Yes, it is hard to hide. Andy, you try it. An erection in a kilt. So I whipped it off and threw it casually as could be over my left shoulder. Your dress fell to the floor. There was more, but I thought it best to skip all the rude, crude, pornographic bits. Suffice it to say, we let nothing get in our way, reducing the distance between us. You and very happy Venus, I and very happy penis. Thank you. And I shall end with this one. This is called Oscailga, which means in Irish. The first part is in Irish. I will translate as I go along. My wife and I longed for a child, and though we had much fun practicing, no baby had yet materialized. And we went for a test after the test to see whether her fallopian tubes were clear. And this kept getting cancelled, and we were up to about 1.5 years of cancellations when pregnancy befell us. And my wife was Finnish. I used to sleep down near her belly, and although I'm not a native Irish speaker, all the little fragments of Irish that I did know came back to me, and I used to stitch them together orally and sing my unborn child little songs and Irish poems and stuff like that. My wife didn't know what I was saying, of course, being Finnish, and she just said, "Keep singing that, that's lovely, I'm just gonna go to sleep." That's the kind of effect I have on women. I send them to say, "Look, Fan, wake up, God, that's life." This is called Oscailga. Dún the Sula, close your eyes. Cuddle galaw ma gra sieve, sleep until day, my gentle love. Cuddle gasov, sleep peacefully, peacefully. I roke an galach sha is rocky an green sha fee. This moon will rise, this sun will set. Aragus gra I goni, care and love always. Gach ihe is gach law is gach ihe. Every night, every day, every night. My plurine, my storine, my moorine. My little flower, my little treasure, my little darling. Akanish, cuddle gasov gasiv. But now sleep peacefully, gently. Gofanya unlay until the break of day. Lemisha at the tave, with me by your side. Losing our baby late into the night. Holding this little thing that only attempted to be human. Unable to let go, I clasped the fetus tightly in my hand and buried it in the dawn of our local park under a recently planted red rose bush. In my grief, flower and baby became one, and night after night I climbed over high railings and even higher stars to talk to her in the dark in Irish, or sing, "My love was like a red, red rose," or cry, Almost got myself arrested one night by an Irish cop drawn to the sound of Irish emerging from the darkness. Guess he let me go because it wouldn't look good on a charge sheet. The defendant was talking and crying to a flower in Irish. Éist, éist, listen, listen. Dinna éigean ag cína, someone is crying in a darkasan, in his darkness. Phil, Phil Aruno, oh ho, Phil Aruno is na imi Philarum akushla sto, oh ho. Hab is chifik to unglow. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Donall.